Hey, what's up? Andy Benson here, and I wanted to say thank you for checking out this video and for dropping by to my YouTube channel. Listen, if you're not already a subscriber of my channel, then make sure that you click the subscribe button so that I can get fresh content to you. If you're looking to build a home-based business, if you're looking for ways to make money using the internet, money online, and you're looking for that alternative way of creating financial freedom for you and your family, then I got some great stuff for you in terms of content to help you to do just that. So if you want to get your hands on that content, you've got to click on the subscribe button. So make sure that you do that. And then in today's video, we're going to dive right into a topic that I think is really important, that a lot of people get completely wrong when it comes to success online. I'm going to talk about what I consider to be the #1 secret to success online, and it's not what you might think. So let's dive right into the content. At the end of this content, I'm going to be making my #1 recommendation to create a full-time income online using the internet from anywhere in the world. So check that out at the end. You'll see a link at the bottom of the video that you can click on that will take you through to what I consider to be my #1 recommendation to do that. So check that out at the end of the video. Make sure you subscribe, like and share the video if you think it's relevant to other people and you want to get that message out there, because I want to reach as many people as I can with my content. And let's dive right in to the secret to success. Most people, when they're starting an online business, or any business for that matter, get very keyed up on starting on that business, getting that business going, getting that, getting momentum with that business. And while those things are important, there are other key factors at play here. And from experience with the students that I've been working with over the last couple of years in particular, and I've probably worked with about 570, close to 600 students now, there's a commonality that we see with people in that when they're starting a home-based business, they know that they have to start marketing that business, and marketing is something that we teach. So they're very keen, very eager to get going, and maybe that's you. Maybe you're trying to do the same and you just can't get your business off the ground. Or maybe you've been doing this for a while and for whatever reason you're not seeing the results that you hoped and dreamed for. Well, if that's the case, then there's probably a very good reason for that, and this may hit home to you and may be a bit of a light bulb moment or an aha moment for you in terms of why you're not seeing the success that you know you deserve. So let's look at that. Let's look at what I consider to be internal and external reasons why people don't see the success that they deserve. In my opinion, and it is just my opinion, so you can take this however you want, but I feel that people look too externally on their business, all right? So when it comes to the external, here's what I mean. I think that people look too much towards the money. Got to make some money, okay? Now, while the money is important, let's be frank and honest here, we're all in this to make money at the end of the day. Anybody that turns around to me and says, wow, do you know what, it's just not about the money at all for me. If they're trying to build a business, then I think they're fooling themselves. It is about the money. We all need to survive. We all need to get by. We all need to make a living. So money is a factor, okay? But it's not the be all and end all. I admit that. But I think a lot of people get very hung up on chasing the money, okay? And what I found is that, do you know what, if you're chasing the money all the time, then you're always chasing the money. All right, so take a note of that. If you're always chasing the money, you're always chasing the money. All right, so think about that for a moment. I think also that when it comes to the external side of things, people want to get marketing, okay? They want to get marketing their business. All right, so they want to get into the marketing / advertising side. All right, they want to see momentum. They want to see results. And that clearly brings us back to this one here. So they're thinking about all the things that they need to do. And in a lot of cases, people are working very hard. Okay? So they're working hard on what they're doing. I'm not saying that people aren't seeing results because they're lazy in their efforts to build a home-based business. Most people are working really hard. They're probably working a day job. And this is going back to my experience. You know, when I started out online, I was working a day job, and then I'd come home. We would deal with what needed dealing with the kids at home. Kirsty and I would deal with the children, with school, with homework, getting the evening meal sorted out, getting the kids ready for bed. And then when the kids were in bed, instead of me sitting down and relaxing and watching TV, you know, the laptop would come out. I'd be sat there at the dining room table, and I'd be working from probably 8 in the evening till midnight, 1 a.m. sometimes. I'd be putting in at least another 4 or 5 hours on my home-based business, going to bed, getting up at 6, going back to work and doing the same thing. And I did that for 18 months. And do you know what? I didn't see any results in that 18 months. And it wasn't until I looked at what I was doing that I knew I needed to address something. All right, so I was doing all these things. I was marketing, I was advertising, I was doing my best to get momentum. I wanted to see results. I was working bloody hard on my business. You know, I was putting in 20, 25 hours a week in addition to my full-time job, in addition to our family responsibilities, but I wasn't getting any results and I wasn't getting any momentum. Even though I was working hard, I was marketing my business, I was advertising, I was building, you know, sales funnels and doing all these things that I knew I should do, but I wasn't seeing any results. Why? Why was I not seeing results? Well, let's go over to what I feel is the reason for that. I'm just going to get rid of this for a minute, because what I see, like I've said, is people concentrating too much on all these external things. And I'm not saying that these external things aren't important. Of course they are. You know, you've got to work hard on your home-based business, or any business for that matter. You've got to do that. You've got to market. You've got to advertise. We all want to make money, you know. So all these things are relevant, and I'm not kind of discarding these things. But what we see is that far too many people are only looking at those external elements of their business, and what they're not doing is they're not looking in here. They're not looking internally at the things that maybe could be having a direct effect on what they're doing externally in their business. So to me, the secret of success online or in any business is to stop for a moment, just to take a bit of a backward step, or take a back seat and just stop and look at the reasons why you're not seeing any success. And to be fair, most of those reasons are because of what's going on inside, in here and in here as well. So let's look at some of the internal areas, okay, that may affect your ability to be successful online. Okay, lack of belief. Lack of belief is huge, and that is usually lack of belief in ourselves. We don't give ourselves enough credit for what we are capable of. And I say this to my students every day of the week. I mean, we can put a man on the moon, for crying out loud. I'm pretty damn sure that we as individuals can build an online business, leveraging the internet and using tools and software and education to do that. So lack of belief is huge. How do you genuinely feel? And these are questions you've got to ask yourself, and you've got to be completely honest and very blunt with yourself about this. Otherwise, this change, this transition is never going to take place. Lack of belief is massive. And if you don't have that belief in yourself that you can succeed, the chances are you're not going to. If you can't see yourself succeeding, then there's a strong possibility that you never will. There's a saying that goes that the body can't go where the mind hasn't been. And I'm a big believer in that. I'm a big believer in visualization, in manifestation, and how things that we visualize mentally, emotionally, spiritually, call it what you will manifest themselves physically in our reality. Maybe not immediately, but certainly at some point in our future reality. What we think about, what we Believing what we project emotionally and mentally will manifest itself. So if you always have a lack of belief in yourself and you don't think or feel in here that you can be successful, that will manifest itself in your future reality, and you will always be stuck in that situation of not succeeding, of not seeing the success that you want. So that's one thing, lack of belief. Another one that is is quite critical here as well is to do with our mindset as well. All right, now this all comes part of mindset anyway, but mindset is huge. All right, and when I say mindset, you've got to be training your mind every day. And the way that we do that is we need to be able to distinguish and establish the differences between what it's like from a mental perspective to be an employee. Okay, so when I say mindset, you've got to make this shift from being an employee to then being an entrepreneur. And that is a difficult shift to make. It's not a light switch. You can't just, turn it on and off and say, right, well, I'm not employed anymore. I'm an entrepreneur now. It doesn't work like that. I have to work on my mindset every single day of the week. I have to work on my beliefs every single day of the week. I have to work on my talk track every single day of the week, things that I say. And I could delve into this, and probably will do on another video, in great detail, to do with talk track, to do with your core reasons why you're doing this, to do with your belief system, to do with all those elements surrounding our emotions and our mindset and what makes us do the things that we do or stops us from achieving the success that we need to achieve. But these, I feel, are the internal reasons why people are not successful. They have a lack of belief, their mindset is wrong. They're still stuck in this mindset of being an employee. And while being an entrepreneur is a very, attractive, exciting prospect, because it's an area of wide open opportunity, it's also wide open with in terms of there are no parameters for you to work to. When you're an employee, you go to work, you do your job, you've got somebody that's there telling you what to do. And if everything completely goes wrong, ultimately, it's not your company, it's not your business that is affected by that. But as an entrepreneur, you call all the shots. You have to make all the decisions. You set your timetable. You have to decide when you're working on your business and how long. You're the one that has to make the financial investment in your business. You're the one that has to pick up the pieces when it all goes wrong. So while it's wide open with opportunity, it's also wide open with responsibility as well. And people find that a difficult shift to make. So mindset is absolutely key. Not believing in yourself is massive. Having the right mindset is massive. Developing the right daily kind of rituals surrounding all these things to do with decision making. All right? So you've got to decide. You've got to decide what you're going to do and when. You've got to decide what's important and what's not, and prioritize those things, because no one else is going to do it for you. So these are all areas that we need to look at internally. Do we truly believe that we can be successful? And you also got to think about your attitude towards certain elements of what you're doing in your business to do with success, to do with wealth. People often say that they are fearful. All right? That they're fearful of failure. Now, I don't think people are fearful of failure. We spoke about this at one of our live events a couple of years ago, and a good friend and colleague of mine also highlighted this point, that people are not necessarily fearful of failure. We shroud it in that, but in reality, I think people are fearful of success. What does it look like to be successful? Because that's on the other side of where you're at now. What does it really look like to be successful? What are you going to have to show up looking like every single day of the week when you're at that level. So a lot of people are not fearful of failure, they're actually fearful of the success that they crave, and so they're blocking themselves from getting that. People have the wrong attitude surrounding money and wealth. Maybe they don't feel that they deserve to be wealthy. Do you feel you truly deserve to be wealthy? Because if you don't, guess what? You never will be. So these are areas, these are just a few of the key areas that I wanted to talk to you about today in this video that I feel are the secret to success. You have to have belief in yourself. You have to deal with your mindset. You've got to get out of this wrong mindset of an employee and learn how to train your mind to have the mindset of an entrepreneur. You need to be decisive in what you're doing. You need to cast aside any fears and doubts that you have surrounding whether you feel it's failure or whether, as I believe, that people are fearful of success. And you need to be of the mind and of the heart that you actually deserve to be wealthy. If you deal with all these internal things first and get yourself in a good place, get yourself in a good place emotionally, get yourself in a good place mentally, get yourself in a good place physically as well. Self-care is also something that is incredibly important to help you to perform. If you can do all these things, then you can become what we would consider to be a high performer. Okay? If you want a business to perform, then as the business owner, you have to be a high performer. You can't be putting hours into your business when you're not performing. If you're not at your absolute peak, if you're not at your best, and I'm not saying that we should be like that every day of the week because we never are, but overall, if you're not dealing with all these things that are stopping you, doesn't matter how many hours you're putting into your business, it's not going to come together. And for me, it didn't come together for me either until I dealt with this, until I stopped looking externally and working kind of in my business all the time, just sort of swamped inside my business. But I took a backward step. I started to look on my business from a much higher level and recognized and realized that what I needed to deal with was what was going on inside me, was what was going on in here and in here. And that when I dealt with that, and through mentorship, through education, through connecting and networking with people at live events, super important that you do that as well. All these things started to click into place, and when this started to work, my business started to flourish. So I hope that you found that useful and maybe this has struck a chord with you. Maybe this has given you a bit of a realization that you've been working hard on your business, but you've been too external, looking at the business itself and being too ingrained in the business to take a backward seat and stop and think about what it is that's causing the problems in the first place. And maybe the problems lie within you and that they need addressing first. So if you need help with that, if you want to learn how to become the best version of yourself, if you want to become a high performer, a peak performer that sets you apart, head and shoulders above the rest of the competition out there, so that when you do work on your business is absolutely flourishing, and that you're seeing the results and the success that you want and you know that you deserve for the hours that you're putting in, then you need to get in contact with me. And like I said, there'll be a link underneath this video that will give you my #1 recommendation for building a home-based business from the comfort of home, leveraging the internet, leveraging education, leveraging self-development skills, helping you with your mindset, helping you deal with all these internal areas so that you can then build a successful home-based business and finally make money online when you've been failing all these years or all these months that you've been trying. So click on the link below. Like I said, if you found this video helpful, please like the video, please subscribe, please share the content. Let's get this message out there because I want to help as many people as possible to be able to see the success that we've been able to achieve over the years. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.